So this says now that we are officially live here on the YouTube channel. It is Sunday. It is September 13th, 2020. This is another installment of Around the Point here on YouTube.com. Ladies and gentlemen, dorks, and all you sick and twisted mother flowers out there. I hope all of you are enjoying yourself. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend and all that fun hippity hoopla. That, if you get what I mean. Anyway, my week as a whole, I gotta tell you, to be honest with all of you, it's been a really shitty week for me. And it was going good. It was going good. Work was a drag, what have you. But that's part of life though, right? But for me, work, not even work, like just my week became shit going into Wednesday night, if you will. So Wednesday night, I got to work and I had to drop somebody off. That's one thing about being a car owner. You know, people ask you, hey, can you do this for me? But have you, if you will, right? Especially when you have a car, holy shit. Can you give me a ride here? Can you give me a ride there? That's fine. And, you know, one thing about me is I'm a noble person. I've been there. I know what it's like to not have a car and to rely on transportation, rely on someone, hey, giving you a ride here and there. I've been there before. So I gave this person a ride. She paid me too, by the way. So that was that. Whatever, right? So I go to start my car. And for whatever reason, my car wasn't even starting. Like, if you will, right? I put the key into the ignition and all you hear. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm assuming, oh shit, it's the battery. Now, mind you, I turned everything off my car. Once I get out of the car, I turned everything off. The AC, the radio, the lights, everything I turn off. And then I lock up my car. So how is this even possible? That's what I'm wondering here, right? How is this even fucking possible? So I get a jump. I wait like a good 10 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so to get this going. All right, after this, I'm going to just get on the road and we're on our fucking way. And I drop my friend off. I drop her home. I'm driving around for like a good 30 minutes or so. Mind you, while all this is happening, right, I see on Twitter that, Mauro made his debut on Dynamite. All right, he debuted on Dynamite and Twitter went insane, which I'll get into in a little bit. Just bear with me on this, okay? So I drop my friend off. I'm driving around for like a good 30 minutes or so, what have you. I missed like the last hour of Dynamite. I missed it. So I get home. All right, I'm going to turn the car off. Try to turn it back on. Wouldn't start again. Like, fuck. Because again, I need my car to get to work. Because again, I have two jobs. One is at 4 in the morning from Tuesday through Saturday. And then I have my afternoon job, right? That's the schedule changes every week for that one. So that's fine. So I already knew I wasn't going to my morning job. I couldn't. I don't have a car. So I took the car to the mechanic, which is the first for me. Keep that in mind. As a car owner, it's the first time for me and shit. And it turns out that my battery is dead. So fuck the battery. Mind you, I do drive a 2016 Buick Encore. Keep that in mind. Okay? I bought the car last year. Right? So the battery, the part of the mechanic, they last like 3 to 4 years. So, all right, fine. It made sense. I need a new battery, what have you, and got that done. But again, as a car owner, right? Someone like me who takes good care of my car, you don't expect something like that. Can you imagine, right? Like you're going on a date with someone, and then that happens to you as you're getting ready to go on your date, right? Like you get ready, like you get your haircut done, you get the clothes you're gonna wear. You're gonna go out of your way to please this woman, right? To make her happy, to put a smile on her face, right? Try to see if you can get something going after the date. Right? You pick her up, you walk her to your car, right? And then you turn the shit on and it won't even start. Can you imagine that? It didn't happen, but fucking hell, imagine that situation. Imagine, right, if that were to fucking happen. That would be terrible. That would be fucking terrible. But there's that. Again, this is what comes with being a car owner, right? And there's more things that I hate. For example, the one thing that pisses me off, and I'm seeing this every fucking day now, I'm seeing a lot of these kids skateboarding on the street, riding their bikes on the street, doing wheelies and shit. And it's like this, right? Listen, I've been there. I get it. I was a kid once, right? I didn't have a car. So I get that. Mind you, as a car owner now, it's like these kids are asking to get hit by a car. It almost happened the other day. It almost fucking happened. I'm driving to work. I take my shortcut to get to work, by the way, to avoid the busy streets and all that shit, right? And as I'm driving, I see a kid in front of me try to pop a wheelie for whatever fucking reason. Try to pop a fucking wheelie. Oh, look at me. I'm so fucking cool. Watch me show off and shit. And honk my horn to let them know, hey, yo, bruh, get the fuck out the way. I'm driving here. And it's like I scared him for a little bit. I scared him and shit. But it's like, dude, that's the point. If you're going to ride a bike, do it on the sidewalk. I hate to be the one. I know I'm 30 years old. I get, oh my God, you sound old already. No, I'm just being realistic about it. There's a reason why, again, you don't ride your shit on the street. And now, listen, if you have a motorcycle, I get it. Duh, as principle, right? But if you had a skateboard, a bike, a bicycle, if you will, right? Rollerblades, a scooter, please do yourself a fucking favor and do myself and every other driver out there in the country, around the world, a fucking favor. Do that shit on the sidewalk. Don't do it on the street. I'm just saying. I'm just fucking saying. But there's that. Anyway, guys, I hope all of you as a whole had a good week. Looking forward to the new week, what have you. So there's that for me and my week and shit like that. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Give the video, give the podcast a big old thumbs up. Share it through social media. I would really appreciate that. You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. You can listen to Around the Point on the daily, on all the audio podcasting platforms where you can listen to Around the Point, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, also over at Anchor.fm, which is a proud sponsor of Around the Point. Or as well, if you're on the YouTube right now, you can listen to this also on the playback, what have you. It does, again, all this stuff. It helps out the show. And if you're on Apple Podcast, it'll be awesome if you guys can give the show a 5-star rating, because why the fuck would you not? Give the podcast a 5-star fucking rating. So let's get this out of the way, because I just feel like I have to right now. So, like I mentioned on Wednesday, as I was trying to figure out what happened with my car, I see on Twitter everyone talking about Mauro, or Rusev, Mauro, whatever the fuck you want to call him, debuting on AEW Dynamite as the best man for Kip Sabian. See, on All Out, by the way, this was the post episode Dynamite, post All Out, if you will, right? And it got 1 million viewers, which is good for AEW. Good for them. All right. My question now is, now what? That is my question, but I'll get into it also in a little bit. So the big topic that came out of the Dynamite was the fact that Mauro made his debut. Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford announced on All Out that they're going to announce who their best man for the wedding going to be, right? Because again, there's a best man. And me being me, I was putting pieces together. Okay, Kip Sabian is from the UK. He is very good friends with Marty Scurll. I feel like, all right, maybe a way to debut Marty Scurll. But then again, it just, for whatever reason, I had that going on. I thought that for some reason, and it didn't happen. So I see that Brian Pillman Jr. showed up. Apparently, he thought he was the best man, and Kip Sabian corrected him. No, when I texted you, I said you are the best, man. Even though you say didn't like him, which I don't understand, but whatever. Then out came Mauro. formerly known as Rusev, and he came all dripped out. Like, if you think Dominic Mysterio on Monday Night Raw comes out to the ring dripped out in his Balenciagas and his Yeezys, his Givenchy and stuff like that, or Supreme, you ain't seen nothing. Rusev came out in Gucci and Yeezy sneakers. Holy shit. Blonde hair, right? He comes out, hugs Kip Sabian, and apparently Miro is now the best man. Miro, in case you guys don't know, since leaving WWE, since being let go, what have you, has been a streamer on Twitch. I don't really watch his stuff on Twitch. I am subbed to his channel here and there, but yeah, that is the thing. He is now part of the AEW roster, and he cut a promo talking about how, you know, for the last 10 years he's been in the same house, trying to grab the brass ring, imaginary ceilings, telling they can take the brass ring and shove it up their ass. And that he is now elite, and elite recognized elite, he is the best, and all that. Basically saying he's part of AEW. And everyone lost their minds on the internet. Everyone on the internet went ape shit. Everyone on the internet were all happy, hunky-dory. The fact that Miro is now part of AEW. Now listen. I'm happy for the guy. He is back, I guess, in the wrestling circle, if you will. He's back on television, all that stuff. That's fine. My only issue is this, okay? And hear me out before you guys criticize and crap. Hear me the fuck out. I really would appreciate that. You bring him out. You bring him out to what's supposed to be, again, his debut, a surprise. I get that element. Fine. You want to surprise fans? Awesome. But you really bring him in for this Kip Sabian segment? Let's face it, AEW has made Kip Sabian not feel like a big deal on their program. Let's face it, he's not. Most of the time, Kip Sabian is featured on Dark, which is their B-level show on YouTube. You bring him out because, what they have in common, both Miro and Kip Sabian are streamers on Twitch. And because of that, I'm supposed to believe that, oh my God, they've been best friends for so many years. Now listen, I'm not married yet. But I know, and again, I've been to numerous weddings. When the groom picks a best man, it's usually a brother, an older brother, younger brother, what have you, depending on the age, but mostly an older brother, right? Or their best friend from childhood. That's basically what it comes down to when you are the quote-unquote best man of the groom. The same thing goes if it's the bride and the bridesmaid, the same shit. Maid of honor, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Again, I've never been married, so I don't know these wedding terminologies. But that's how this goes. The same way. I'm supposed to believe that Miro and Kip Sabian have been buddies for so many years. I'm supposed to believe that. Ask yourself that question. Now, granted, listen, I understand that Miro or Rusev, whatever the fuck you want to call him, right? For so long, right? Has been treated like shit in WWE. You can make that argument all the fuck you want, okay? But my issue is, okay, you bring him out for that crappy segment, right? But you have him again, and it's this generic bullshit we see every fucking time a former WWE name or someone that made their name in WWE go to different promotion. It could be AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, New Japan, right? And they go on their debut, right? They have a live microphone, right? And what do? They take a jab at WWE. And granted, listen, I know, it's not that long, just 2 sentences, whatever. But that's the thing, though. We see this all the time. And for listen, and people apparently thought the issue was, oh, you know, people are mad because AEW picked up another WWE guy. There's no big deal with that. Anyone that, and this is what I saw too on Twitter. Anyone who has a problem with AEW picking another WWE guy can go fuck off. Right? I don't see everyone going off on WWE when they pick up a former Ring of Honor talent, or former TNA talent, or former New Japan talent, or etc. And you can make that argument too. Here's the thing about it, okay? I know the Lex Man, or I'm sorry, Just Alex. I don't know what the fuck he's going by nowadays, but it's one of those. To me, I'm sorry, bro, you're still the Lex Man in my eyes. And I mean no disrespect with that. But this is what he apparently wrote on Twitter I think it was yesterday or so. And I'm going to read it out loud. It's a list, and I guess where these people were at one time. Hulk Hogan, AWA. Stone Cold Steve Austin, WCW. Triple H, WCW. Flair, NWA. Bret Hart, Stampede. Nash and Oz, or that being Kevin Nash. WCW. Scott Hall, AWA. HBK, NWA, AWA. Well, mostly AWA. Macho Man, ICW, GCW, not the indie feds, by the way. No, the territories back in the day. Punk and Bryan, Ring of Honor. If WWE can hire all of them and make them into megastars, superstars, it's also fair game for AEW, period. And that's fine. But here's a difference, though. Here's a major difference. WWE can take any nobody that's on the independent scene right now and invest their time with said person and turn them into a star. Not gonna be day over, not gonna be overnight. It's not gonna be an overnight thing. It's not. However, it's gonna take a while. Any questions why Sasha Banks came back too soon without Royals Rumble? Want to see deserve WrestleMania? Yeah, I guess so. That'll be awesome, I guess. So again, that's the thing about it. AEW, what they're doing, yes, you look at their rosters, a lot of former WWE names, and a lot of them made their name or fame in WWE, and they're just coasting on that. And there's no difference too. Okay, let's talk about all the thing that he mentioned here on the list, right? Hulk Hogan, right? From AWA. I'm pretty sure, okay? And again, I wasn't around 83, but I guarantee you, right? I guarantee you, when Hogan came back to WWF in 1983, I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon Jr., right? Even though Vince Jr. at the time was trying to take over the fucking wrestling world, right? Taking his product national, I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon didn't give Hogan a live mic or tell Hogan, "Hey pal, I'm gonna give you a live mic. I want you to bury Vern Gagne. I want you to bury the AWA. I want you to bury Minneapolis. Remember, Hulk, remember, Vern Gagne tried to take some of your Japan money. He tried to take some of the Hulkamania merchandise money while you were away, not give you your 50-50 split. I want you to go out there after you pin the Sheik for the championship. I want you to go out there and bury Vern Gagne." It's not like you heard that. I'm just saying. It's not like Ric Flair in 1991 came to WWF, right? And Vince McMahon, "Hey pal, I know you're debuting here tonight. I'm gonna give you a live mic, pal. I need you to go out there and bury Jim Herd. I want you to go out there and bury him. Remember that stupid gimmick he wanted you to have? Remember he was not gonna give you back your $25,000 deposit from the NWA? I want you to go out there and bury that motherfucker." It's not like you heard that. It's not like these guys went over to WWF or WWE, whatever the fuck you want to call it, all bitter and upset about it. Nah. They were professionals. That's the key thing, professionals. Yet all the other guys, right? Whenever they were in WWE, they leave, what have you, they're all bitter, they're all upset, and the next thing you know, they get the fucking microphone and they just bury it like fucking Ramiro did. You've seen this shit all the fucking time. It's one of those things where it's like, bruh, we get it. I fucking get it. And listen, I wish him the best of luck. Apparently, per Miro's deal at AEW, he can work independence. Of course he can. Why the fuck would he not? He can work New Japan Pro Wrestling in Japan, just like Jericho, just like Moxley, I'm assuming, and likely as well. And if I'm wrong on this one, I'm wrong. Just like Lance Archer, which is cool, I guess, right? Awesome. I think also Kenny Omega, but don't quote me on that one. Do not quote me on that. Right? Apparently, he cannot work New Japan in America. Whenever they come to the States and do shows, he can't do those shows. He can't. So there's that. But listen, again, I don't want to come off like I'm hating on this. Can I get that? Maybe the whole perception. But here's the thing about it. Like, Tony, listen, bruh. Twisted Tony. I get it. You want to blow your money on these talents. That's fine. Go ahead. But please, bro, if the idea that AEW is supposed to be the major leagues, right? That's how they view themselves. Like, they're the number one promotion in America. And rightfully so. Hey, they're on cable network. They're on TNT. They have to have that perception about themselves. Rightfully fucking so. That being said, don't go out there and acknowledge, take jabs at WWE, because it comes off petty as shit. It really, really comes off as petty as shit. That's just me. Okay, or it's not like, and again, I can go on with this list, right? I'm pretty. It's not like, hey, when Punk and Bryan came to WWE back in 2010, and in Punk's case, 04, 05, it's not like Vince McMahon told both guys on their debut, "Hey pal, hey pal, here's a live mic. I want you to go out there and bury Kerry Silkin, bury Ring of Honor." It didn't happen. Did not. Cause that would have been stupid as shit. Too sweet. Testify, my brother. Thank you, Dre. I appreciate that. If you guys have questions for the show, drop in your questions. I'll try to answer them as best I possibly can as we go through with this. Going down the list here. So there's that with Miro. Okay, there's that. Apparently, Stephanie McMahon says that Vince listens to the fans. Stephanie McMahon recently explained how her father, WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon, listened to the fans during an interview with Gary Vaynerchuk. If I butchered the name, I apologize. This is per SE Scoops, by the way. Additionally, Stephanie McMahon shared how Vince actively listens to the live audience, even though there really isn't currently a live audience. They are in the Thunderdome, right? And pays attention to social media. According to her, he is always open to ideas. Vince listens to fans. He listens to the live audience. He listens to social media. He also listens to our employees. Oh my God, that is a good one. He always said, you never know where a great idea is going to come from. He solicits that opinion. He talks to people. When asked if she believes Vince McMahon and her husband Triple H, when asked if she believes Vince McMahon and her husband Triple H were good at admitting when they're wrong, Stephanie admitted how she tries to be very transparent in owning her personal mistakes. End quote. I think there is a difference between being wrong and making mistakes. Okay, I really want to know what's the difference between being wrong and making a mistake. I don't know how that works, but okay. I know that a subtly in semantics, but human psychology plays into that. Stephanie McMahon said, going back to Vince, he believes in some cost. So if you made a mistake, if something isn't working, stop throwing good money after bad. Just move on. She explained how Vince McMahon's approach to learn the lesson that you're supposed to learn and then apply it. As far as she's concerned, you can make mistakes, but he wants to ensure he doesn't make the same mistakes twice. I mean, it's her defending her father. I'm pretty sure, listen, if put in the same spot, right? If put in the same spot, we would defend our parents, right? And I'm pretty sure if you put me on the spot right now, ask me the same question about my father, I would probably, you know, go out and defend my father, like any son, right? Or any daughter out there would have you would defend their mother or their father, or what have you, or their significant other. It is what it is. But the idea that Vince McMahon, this comes up, makes it seem like, oh, Vince listens to his employee, he listens to the fans. There is no fans. There is no fans right now. I hope people realize that. We're in a fucking Thunderdome. Has that not synced in yet? There's no, he can think about it, right? They can now control the audience. They can now control what is being done, what's being cheered, what's being booed. They have that ability now because there are no live events. There are no Raw or SmackDown in front of a live audience yet. When that happens, though, oh boy. But the point of the matter is, though, that's the way I look at it right now. Yeah, it's silly, it's stupid as shit. I don't even think Vince listens to even his grandkids. And I'm pretty sure that his grandkids have a good view of the product, if you will. But it just comes off like, ugh. I know also WWE did more releases this week as well. Apparently over 60 people. And mostly staff people work backstage and shit like that. 3 names that were noted were, number 1, Gerald Briscoe. Yeah. Been there for more than 36 something years. Apparently Vince McMahon called him and told him, hey man, hey pal, hey pal. Well, I'm sorry, now Vince is in the 70s, so now it's more like, Gerald, your server doesn't need no more. Goddamn, pal. Apparently, per Joe Briscoe, Vince McMahon called him personally and told him that his service is no longer needed. And it's crazy to think that he's been there for so long. He's been a lifer. I thought he would have been a lifer in that company. I think it's kind of fucked up in a way. Your longtime employee, you're gonna let him go just like that. I just hope he's still getting some type of compensation. That's my only hope. I doubt it, really, to be honest with you guys, but it is what it is. But again, it's crazy to think. And again, listen, I grew up watching Joe Briscoe with Pat Patterson as the Stooges. I remember King of the Ring 2000. It was those two for the hardcore title, and I think they were both dressed in drag. As funny as it was then, as I'm older now, I was like, ugh, really? But again, that was my memories. Them being the Stooges for Vince McMahon, right? Always defending Mr. McMahon and all that stuff. So I always remember. I remember the last time we saw Gerald Briscoe, he won the 24/7 title on the episode of Monday Night Raw. I think they were at the Garden or like the anniversary show, one or the other. But there was that. But it sucks, but it is what it is. Also, they let go IRS, Mike Rotunda, Erwin R. Shyster. Apparently, he was a producer, and he got let go. I think he's been there for like more than 14 years, 16 years, one or the other. Don't quote me on it. And again, he, as you all may know, he is the father of both Bo Dallas, who I'm not even sure if he's still employed with WWE, and as well as we all know, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. Sucks to hear about that. Again, I remember growing up as a kid watching him as IRS in those vignettes and all that stuff. I always thought they were hilarious. I did enjoy Money Incorporated back in the day when I watched the tapes that my brother would record and all that stuff. But again, you know, there's all this happening with the pandemic. Apparently, some of them were furloughed, and now they've been let go. Some of them were supposed to be brought back, and that didn't happen. And apparently, also the other one was an Impact. She plays Sarita, but she also got let go. She was like a trainer, and now she worked as like a backstage producer on the main roster, I think on SmackDown, and she got let go too. It's a shame, but you know, again, these things happen. Pandemic, and it's terrible. And again, I don't want to come off like, oh my god, I don't feel bad for them, because I kind of do. But again, what can you do? We're in a pandemic. Now everyone is, again, having a job. It's unfortunate, but life goes on. Simple as that. I think at the same time, though, it's them trying to get rid of this old regime, this old guard, and try to put these new guards in. With that being said, can we please fire fucking Kevin Dunn? Is that too hard? Is that too much to ask for right now? I know we shouldn't be wanting people to lose their jobs. We should not. But if there's one person, can it please be Kevin Dunn? Just saying. Just fucking saying. So there's that. Do you think Buddy Murphy turns Seth Rollins tomorrow night? Oh my God. Do you think Buddy Murphy turns on Seth Rollins tomorrow night? He need to turn sick. Buddy Murphy, lack of Seth Rollins. Don't like them together. Buddy, I have no idea. Likely, yeah, but I'll get into that also in a little bit. I'll get into that. As we talk about first, Monday Night Raw. Raw this past Monday night, the Labor Day edition of Monday Night Raw. I personally felt like it was a dud, in my humble opinion. Okay? That's just me. That's just my humble opinion. It was a dud. We kicked things off with Randy Orton. He basically cut his promo on Drew McIntyre, how he's now the number one contender, how you're going to beat him at Clash of Champions. They showed, I guess, the clips, the recap, right, from when Orton and Punk kicked at McIntyre multiple times. He all talked about his match with Keith Lee. And the next thing you know, you hear the ambulance, right? The sirens of the ambulance entering the arena. And out came Drew McIntyre, who apparently isn't cleared yet. And he laid out Randy Orton with the Claymore kick. The one of three that he was going to hit throughout the night. He ended up laying out Randy Orton with 3 Claymore kicks throughout the entire fucking night. And I thought, again, that was cool. Okay, yeah. Drew, he's angry, he's pissed off. Here he is. He wants to get a piece of Randy Orton. He's not cleared. We've seen this before. So there's that. There's that. From there, we go to Apollo Crews. We had Apollo Crews and Ricochet and Cedric Alexander versus the Hurt Business, right? Let's just get this out of the way. The big news that came out of the night, Cedric Alexander turned heel on Ricochet and Apollo Crews and joining the Hurt Business. It was predictable as shit. Let's just get that out of the way. I knew that was going to happen a mile away. And I liked how they did this whole thing where they didn't like hug it out or pieced up or whatever when the whole thing was over with. Like they were just sterile. Like Cedric Alexander was on the outside of the ring while all the members of the Hurt Business were inside just staring at it, like that awkward look like, yeah, okay. It's like when you're at a party, right? And you're sat at a table with those who are not your friends because you decide to fucking go to the party late, right? So they place you in this table with people that you barely even talk to, or you're not even cool like that, right? So you're at this party, you're at this table, and all you're doing is doing this, like, yeah. Or you're taking sips of your drink almost, right, at a party, and you're looking at these people and shit, and they're talking, and they're looking at you like, you're like, yeah. If you will. That's what it felt like to me. And listen, again, you knew it was going to happen. I would have left it at that. But they couldn't help themselves. And I'll get into that also in a little bit. These fuckers could not help themselves. Holy fucking shit. They could not help themselves. Again, listen, a Cedric turning heel, as predictable as it was, it can do him some good. Let's face it, the guy needed some, like a resurrection, if you will, and putting him in this group. I have no issue with it. I'm fine with it. Let's just see where he goes from here, because he did need it. Just saying. From there, we had the Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Andrade. And somewhere in this match, Angel Garza decided to walk out on Andrade and Zelina Vega. The Street Profits pinned Andrade. The problem with this, we've seen this shit before so many times that you just get bored of it already. It's like when you're a kid, right? And your dad asks your mom, hey, honey, what's for dinner? And your mom says there's something. and your dad goes, again? Not this shit again. Or it's like when you're in a school, right? And it's time for lunch, and you go to the lunch lady, and you ask what's for lunch, and they tell you it's meatloaf and mashed potatoes, and you go, that shit again? Oh, hell no. That's what I thought of when I saw Andrade and Garza with the Street Profit. This shit again? Are you shitting me? And Garza walked out. And there's that. After the match was all over with, you had the SmackDown Tag Team Champions of Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, who threw the brand invitational, right? I forgot that was even a thing. And I'm pretty sure you guys as well. I guarantee all of you do not even fucking remember that. It's like a blur. Like, okay, football season's coming up, so we remember, oh yeah, we got that brand invitational shit where guys from SmackDown or guys from Raw can go to cross over to the brands and shit, right? Whoop-de-fucking-do. They show up and they say that this coming Monday it's gonna be, by the way, at Raw, in your face Raw. That didn't even fucking sound right. In your face Raw. Just sound it out. It does not sound right. Holy shit. Whoever came up with that name should be fired. Came up with this. It's not like, I don't want to believe that Vince woke up one day and said, God damn, pal. In your face. So stupid. So this coming Monday on Raw, in your face, we're going to get the Raw Tag Team Champions versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Champion versus champions, basically, right? Going at it one-on-one. I'm one of those people right now that feels like, okay, listen, both tag team divisions suck. They just do. They just fucking suck right now. It's terrible. Both on the Raw brand, both on the SmackDown brand. It's just atrocious right now. Just do everyone a fucking favor. Clash of Champions coming up, right? Just do a title for title unification at this point. And just like the women's tag team champions, have the men tag team champions go to both shows whatever the fuck they want to. Please, can we just do that already? Get this shit out of the way. Becoming a giant clusterfuck. I'm just fucking saying. It's becoming one giant clusterfuck of a tag team division right now. It really, really is. Really, really is right now. God damn it. God fucking damn it. After this, we had, for whatever reason, we had Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. As you guys know, last Monday, they broke up. So now, what do the following Monday? Go at it one-on-one because fuck it, why not? This match was, It felt like I'm watching two students at a wrestling school trying to pass a midterm exam. They're going at it, take a couple bumps, Peyton got the win, and then they hugged it out. There's that. Whatever. At this point, you might as well send Billy to SmackDown, which I thought they would have done. Speaking of which, Mandy Rose is now part of Monday Night Raw. So her and Otis are officially over with. How uneventful. How uneventful is that? So there was that. Again, Parents got the win. No one really gave a fuck. No one cared. From there, we had Charlie Caruso introduce the Mysterio family for a special in-ring promo. Ray discussed the pride that he has in his son Dominic, stating that the second generation star knows what he must do to pick up a win tonight against Murphy. The disciple interrupted the proceedings and placed the blame for Seth Rollins berating and betraying him on Dominic. Dom has a bright future here in WWE, but the ultimate sacrifice would be to end it before it ever gets started. Murphy challenged Dominic to a street fight, and the rookie accepted. Here's my thing, okay? From my understanding, there's talks that Dominic is going to be the third top babyface on Monday Night Raw. Which when I heard of this, I'm like, whatever weed they're smoking, whatever drug they're on right now, please let me have some of this shit. See, if you're someone on the main roster, right? It's one thing for this kid to skip developmental, or hell, skip the independence and developmental, right? He go right to the main roster, and now you're telling me this kid, who has a future ahead of him, don't get me the fuck wrong, is now the third top babyface? When I heard this, I'm like, yo, stop capping. Stop fucking capping. Like, what are we on right now? What the fuck is going on? Seriously. What the fuck is going on? So there's that. So, yeah, I mean, again, another thing too, like, can we start getting this kid, can we get this kid that wrestles just regular matches? No more of these gimmick, street fight, no disqualification. No, by the way, this coming Monday on Raw, in your face, going to be Seth Rollins versus Dominic inside of a steel cage. Oh boy. Oh fucking boy. From there, we got Asuka and Mickie James versus Natalya and Lana. I did not give a shit about this. All I know is that Asuka and Mickie James got the win. The champ celebrated as victory as James looked on, half a smile on her face. Basically, keeping an eye on Asuka. I'm pretty sure they'll do a match at Clash of Champions. I guess it'll be the rematch from their TakeOver match many years ago, so there's that. We had the VIP lounge because these fuckers couldn't wait. These fuckers could not fucking wait. These fuckers could not wait until next week, right, to give an explanation of why did Cedric Alexander join the Hurt Business. So Cedric is here in the Hurt. He's on the VIP lounge, right? He's wearing the shirt, right? And Benjamin expressed skepticism before Alexander laid out his explanation for his actions, including his desire to earn money and enjoy professional growth. The Viking Raider interrupted the promo, followed by Cruz and Ricochet. They all rushed the ring, all 8 men brawled, and the next thing you know, we had an 8-man tag in our hands. We had Apollo Crews, Ricochet, and the Viking Raider versus the Hurt Business. And somewhere in this fucking match, Ivar got hurt because of a dive. Apparently he hurt his neck. The referee put the X up. Right, he did this. And listen, I know Solomon said this on his show, and I gotta agree too. Can we stop with dives? All the big guy. Listen, I know it's cool to see a big guy do a dive. Yes, Ivar was funny as shit being Air Ivar on those skits between the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders a couple of months ago. All the fuck you want. But can you please stop with these fucking dives? It's ridiculous. If you want to see dives, leave to the 205 guys or the cruiserweights. Just saying. But he got hurt. Honestly, this should never happen. The match should never fucking happen. And what do you know? In this whole thing, the Hurt Business got the win. The Hurt Business got the win. Alexander, right? He delivered he delivered a Michinoku driver, right? And it looked like it was botched. Yeah, it was completely fucking botched, by the way. Completely botched. It was 1-2. Apparently Ricochet got his shoulder and the referee counted 3. So not only did you have a match that should never happen, but you also got a fucked finish in the process. How dumb is that? How dumb is that, period? We had Keith Lee and Randy Orton. This match honestly just felt like for the third time in 2 weeks. It was a high profile match, whatever the fuck you want. But what happened here, Orton beat Lee by disqualification. McIntyre came out and he hit the second Claymore of the night. So there was that. Again, you're using Keith Lee as, I guess, a sacrificial lamb because, again, it's McIntyre and Orton, right? They're going to go at Clash of Champions. So there's that. Apparently tomorrow on Raw, in your face is going to be Randy. My bad. It's going to be Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre going at it. That should be fun, I guess. Kevin Owens and Aleister Black fought for approximately 20 seconds on the Raw Underground. Because, yes, that's what happened. Raw Underground, Kevin Owens and Aleister Black. And it was interrupted by the big dude. I forgot his name already. Baba Kato. Whatever the fuck his name is. He apparently got touched, and he went ape shit and laid out both guys. So there's that. A week after the reunited Riot Squad and Ruby Riot and Liv Morgan, they end up breaking up the Iconics. They battled the women's tag team champions Shayna Baszler in a 2-on-1 handicap match. And what do you know? What the fuck do you know? What do you fucking know? Holy shit. They actually pinned Shayna Baszler. My bad, no, it was a no contest. They went to a no contest. So there was that. And after this, a Retribution logo appeared. And the faction got a promo for the first time. And their voice were distorted. Now, apparently, people did edit out, or I guess they try to edit the audio, right? They make it sound like their actual voices. They brighten up the photo, what have you, to see who they were. And we see some faces. We saw the face of Dominik Dijakovic. We saw Mia Yim, to name you a few. So there's that. I mean, they're now talking. I mean, apparently now they're part of the Raw brand, so there's that as well. They're part of Monday Night Raw. But again, to me, this whole fucking Retribution thing is just dying. It's over with. I'm done with it. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. So from there, we have Orton getting the third Claymore kick by Drew McIntyre. Because, yeah, again, you had to fucking spice this shit up a bit, so why the fuck not? We get the street fight. Dominic Mysterio and Buddy Murphy. And here's the thing. What I found funny, the end of the match, right? By the way, yes, Dominic did get the win, right? Dominic did get the win. Apparently, Buddy Murphy walked out by himself. And there's a moment at the end of the match, right? They have Murphy, they have him tied up to the ropes. And all of the members of the Mysterio family whack Buddy Murphy with the kendo stick. As if he was a fucking piñata. Terrible. What the fuck was this? Like, come on. Put some effort into it. And here's my thing. I did say earlier, yes, Dominic is the future. Has a lot of potential. I did watch the network documentary, the WWE Day of SummerSlam 2020. It featured on Sonya Deville and Dominic Mysterio, and how Vince McMahon was touched by Dominic's debut. Gave him advice. That was awesome. That being said, I think, and this is my humble opinion, Dominic's time on the main roster has come and gone. For now. Yes, he has a future ahead of him. But it's time to take this kid back to NXT. I still think, honestly, he will benefit so much more, and this is just me, of course, if he goes to NXT, right? Because you know they're going to take his time with. They're going to take their time with him, right? Build him up, what have you. And bring him as the newest member of the God of the Fantasma. I'm going to say that shit till the cows come home. I will. To legitimize that group. Hey, look how serious we are. We have the son of a living legend. The son of Rey Mysterio Jr. Rey Mysterio, what have you. And yes, they're going to probably call him a different name. Dominic. But there's that. That's what I would do. The fact that he's having a cage match with Seth Rollins is kind of ridiculous in my eyes. It's over with. Rollins already beat him. It's done with. It's over. You move on. I'm hoping this is it. After tomorrow on Raw, in your face, it's over with. We move on. Rollins goes on to do his other program, or the fuck it may be. Maybe it might end up being with Buddy Murphy. Who knows? And Dominic goes back to NXT. Because again, he did skip developmental. He skipped the independents. He went straight to the main roster. Not fair for everyone else. So there's that. That's what I could hope, but it is what it is at this point in juncture. All right. At this point, it is what it is. So let's get into NXT. It was on a Tuesday. It was Super Tuesday, Part 2. And we kicked the show off with Adam Cole and Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. And I thought, honestly, these two guys tore the house down. Don't get me the fuck wrong. These two guys went out there. They tore it up. Near fall after near fall. Balor kicked out of the Panama Sunrise and the Shining Wizard. Adam Cole kicked out of the coup de grace. They made a big deal out of that. This was amazing. Awesome. I just wish there was a crowd for this, right? Or in the Thunderdome, but that's beside the point. And with all said and done, Finn Balor picked up the win. And he's now the new NXT champion. He is now the third man to hold that championship 2 times. He joins Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura as a 2-time NXT champion. Awesome. Here's my problem. This opened the show. This, in my opinion, should have been the last thing on the show. Again, it's basically for NXT their main title. That should close the show. And I would have closed the show in that steel cage match between versus Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez as the opening match on the show. That's what I would have done. But that's just me. But this is what we got. Again, Balor and Cole delivered. Awesome as shit. They showed them both backstage, hitting the 2 sweet, if you will. So there's that. I mean, what's next for Adam Cole? I want to assume now he's a babyface from what it looks like. I don't know. I mean, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly are still sort of heels if you watch the show from this past Tuesday. So I don't know about that. We'll see. But yeah, it's kind of weird, but this is what they're doing right now. From there, we had Shotzi Blackheart, who apparently the Robert Stone was apparently he found the tank, or Shotzi's tank, backstage, and Shotzi caught him. Aaliyah made the save by attacking Blackheart, accidentally running into Io Shirai's photo shoot. Blackheart and Shirai attacked Aaliyah and Stone in the ring. And the Tank Rider then teased taking the championship title. So then there was a stare down. The stare down between Io Shirai and Shotzi Blackheart. Basically telling you guys potentially the next title picture. For which apparently this coming Wednesday, it's going to be Shotzi Blackheart versus Io Shirai in a 1-on-1 match. Non-title. So there's that. But I do think though, that is a takeover match you do down the road, not right away. But yeah, they're kind of giving you the idea of what they're going to do next. From there, we get Tegan Nox arriving at the Gargano household, hoping to rekindle her friendship with Candice LeRae. Johnny brought her to the dinner table. LeRae asked Nox to consider taking the Gargano approach, forgetting about the fans. After talking about who would be the next NXT Women's Champion, a fight broke out. Nox dumped pasta on Gargano's head, and then LeRae accidentally smacked the family TV as her former friend left. We had also Timothy Thatcher. But again, overall, that as a whole, though, again, it's creative, it's funny. The Gargano household, if you will. So there's that. You had Gargano, you had Johnny Gargano there too. They dumped food on him. I'm fine with that. It's funny. Whatever the fuck you want. But does this make me want to see Tegan Nox and Candice LeRae? To be honest, no, I don't. It's whatever. From there, we had Thatcher he ran his latest Thatch can, his class basically showing off personal video study of Damian Priest. He called out the laziness of the North American champion. I look forward to that match down the road. It should be fun. It really, really should be fun as hell. From there, we had Velveteen Dream versus Ashanti Adonis, the enhancement talent. This match, I'll say this was Velveteen Dream weathered the early storm from Adonis. I literally thought, oh my God, they're going to give this kid the win, but they didn't. Dream got the win at the end of the day with the Death Valley Driver for the 1-2-3, laid on top of him. After this, Kushida came out and wanted revenge on Velveteen Dream and worked on the shoulder, worked on the arm, and did the arm bar, what have you, hurting the arm of Velveteen Dream. And I like this. I don't mind seeing this program. Again, it's not like they're going to put Velveteen Dream in the title picture anytime soon. That is, if they even do, right? But one thing I'll say too is the fact that for a lot of people, the Velveteen Dream thing is over with. It's done. Whatever happened, that's that, if you will. It just left the bad taste in everyone's mouth. Like in their eyes, it's already like it's a dud. He did it. He's guilty. It feels weird to watch him wrestle nowadays, from the eyes of some people. And that's just the way that it is. Just the way that it is. From there, we had Bronson Reed and Austin Theory. I thought this match was okay for what it's worth. It's cool to see Theory back on television, even if it's back in NXT. I thought, again, their match was pretty solid. Nothing to go crazy about. They did this whole thing at the end where it looked like Theory was gonna go hit his finisher, right? And his whole weight of Bronson Reed just landed on Theory, and that's how Reed got the win. I would have saved this, but again, I would have done like a disqualification finish, but that's just me, of course, but it is what it is. But again, nothing to go crazy about, though. Nothing to go insane about. Even though last week, remember, Austin Theory was trying to give advice to Bronson Reed and all that stuff, so there's that. We had Roderick Strong versus Killian Dane going at it. I thought this was okay. More about the ending than the match itself, like post-match, if you will, right? So Strong did get the win over Dane with help of Bobby Fish. When the match was over with, they were, I guess, attacking Killian Dane, and next thing you know, Drake Maverick comes out, right? Maverick comes out to save Killian Dane, but gets beat down for his effort. And then Dane grabbed the steel pipe and sent Frog and Fish running. Dane laid out Maverick afterwards because Drake Maverick thought, hey, they're friends, they're going to shake hands, whatever. And that didn't happen at all. So Drake Maverick doesn't learn his lesson. Does not fucking learn his lesson at all. Also, next week, we're going to be getting Breezango versus Imperium going at it for the tag titles in the rematch. So there's that as well. From there, we get the main event. Steel Cage, Rhea Ripley versus Mercedes Martinez. I literally thought going into that match that, okay, this is Rhea's final match in NXT. It's basically her farewell match. She go up to the main roster, maybe on Tuesday, maybe on a Friday night or a Monday night, what have you. And for what it was, listen, I'll be honest, it was a good match. I enjoyed it for what it was worth. You had Robert Stone try to come up to the top of the cage. He was stuck. But yes, they had a table spot too, where Rhea hit the Riptide and beat Mercedes Martinez. But I literally thought this is it for Rhea Ripley. She's done. She's going to lose, and that's it. Again, as good as it was, this should have not been the main event. I would have, again, flipped the main event with the opener. That's just me. Overall, I thought NXT was a solid show, if you will. Now they're going back to Wednesday night, so there's that. Speaking of Wednesday nights, let's talk about AEW Dynamite. Oh, yeah. AEW Dynamite. Apparently, yes, AEW hit 1 million viewers for the first time in God knows how long. And it's great. It's awesome. Good for them. I'm happy. But believe it or not, for all the crap that I've given AEW, I'm happy for them. Believe it or not, I am happy for AEW. You may think that I'm not, but I'm really, really am. My only thing is now what? What's next? Mind you, this was their post All Out show, by the way. Keep that in mind. This was the post All Out show, right? So we kicked things off with Jurassic Express versus the Lucha Bros. Jurassic Express, if you remember, they lost to the Young Bucks at All Out. The Lucha Bros were involved in that casino battle royal with Eddie Kingston. What surprised me was that the Jurassic Express got the win. For the way it was worth, right? Again, for what it was worth, it was a solid opener. The crowd seemed into this for what it was worth. But yeah, man, it was crazy to think that. Oh, by the way, apparently now Pentagon is now going by Penta El Cerro M, which is like, what the fuck? To me, he's still Pentagon Jr. I don't give. I get why though, because of copyright claims and all that shit. That's fine, but to me, he's just still Pentagon. At the end of the fucking day, so there's that, and it's funny because after the match, right, Phoenix and Penta bickered and fought until Eddie Kingston interrupted, and it reminded the Lucha Bros that there was that where was when Pac. He reminded Lucha Bros that he was there when Pac was not. He asked Blade where is his wife. In reference to Ali, he ordered the frustrated brothers to shake hands, which Penta refused. Anything about it, I think, again, the fact that we're giving Eddie Kingston a faction is cool, the fuck you want. I just want to see him wrestle. That's just me. That being said, though, with this, it was there. Cool. Okay, there was a mistake. They made up. They're brothers. Cool. Awesome. If you will. At the same time, it was crazy to think that in Impact Wrestling, the Lucha Brothers were like in the main event, right? Along with Santana and Ortiz. And now look where both teams are. Yeah, just there on the show, if you will. But what shocked me was the fact that Jurassic Express did beat the Lucha Bros. That really shocked me. We had Matt Hardy addressing the AEW fans. You remember what happened on All Out? Matt Hardy took a crazy, crazy bump, which got everyone upset. He hit the ring to address the fans and applauded the live audience's energy. He discussed his fall from All Out and the scary moments that ensued as that ensued as a result. He said that he was expecting to make 100% recovery before acknowledging his family. Matt thanked the fans for their concern they showed him and the rest of the roster before pledging that to get healed up, get cleared, and focus on winning AEW Gold. And they also showed a cameo of Rebby Hardy in the crowd with her mask, with their child. Again, this was awesome. Again, this is Matt Hardy just speaking from the heart, which you really needed. Again, what happened last Saturday was so scary. It really, really was not needed at the end of the fucking day. So you bring him out, you have him just say what he wants to say. That's what you do when you have a live mic. Okay? That's what the fuck you do. So there's that. He's going to recover, take some time off, and when he comes back, try to get some gold, if you will. AEW championships, whether it's the North American title, whether it's the TNT championship or the AEW world title, we shall see. We shall fucking see. From there, we had the Orange Cassidy versus Angelico match. I thought this was a very good match, believe it or not. Cassidy dodged a corner splash, straight off the top rope with a crossbody, and blasted Angelico with the orange punch for the win. After the match, Santana and Ortiz attacked Cassidy until best friends Trent and Chuck made the save and issued a challenge for a parking lot showdown next week. I get the feeling that will be a cinematic match. I hope not, but I get that feeling. So there's that. Again, what this does, it promotes the match for next week. And Orange Cassidy comes out strong as well because, again, he did beat Jericho. So you had to get a win here. So I'm fine with that too. And from there, we find out, hey, the best man. I already talked about this earlier. Apparently, Kip Sabian and before it announced it's Miro, formerly known as Rusev. And apparently in the promo, he said, "My name is Miro and I am all elite." And there's that. Again, I talked about this earlier in the beginning of the podcast, how stupid it was. You bring them out for two guys that really aren't doing shit on the roster, right? I'm supposed to believe, again, that Miro and Kip Sabian are really, really best friends and that Miro is really the best man for this wedding. No, it's stupid as shit. I'm sorry. It really, really is. And yeah, I gave my thoughts on that earlier. If you want to get my thoughts on that, just rewind back to the beginning of the podcast. I talked about it there. All right. So there's that. Again, I'm happy for Miro. In some aspect, he's back in wrestling, even though he said he wasn't anymore. But hey, it is what it is. We had Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss versus Chris Jericho and Jake Hager in a no disqualification match, tag team match. I thought this was okay. You already knew, though, that Janela and Sonny Kiss were going to get the pin. They were going to lose, and they did. They did. So there was that, right? After the match, Jericho declared that he and Hager were settling their sights on the AEW Tag Team Championship held by FTR. Here's my thing. Okay? When I hear Jericho talking about how now he's going to be challenging for the tag titles with Jake Hager, what this tells me is that AEW, from a creative standpoint, have nothing for Chris Jericho right now. They have nothing for him. Yes, he was the world champion, and that was awesome. Fucking awesome, right? And then, what does he do? Let's have him feud with one of the best acts in the company, in Orange Cassidy. They had the 3 matches, right? The first match on Dynamite, the second match at Fyter Fest, and now they had the Mimosa Mayhem match, right? Jericho made this kid a star as best he possibly can. Again, depends who you talk to, really, right? Even though, again, did Orange Cassidy deserve to share the same ring with Jericho? On paper, no. But that's what you got. And then it's like, now what? Now what do you do if you're Chris Jericho? And this is just their lazy creative process. Hey, let's have you go after the tag titles. Even though it's not going to happen, it's not like FTR are going to drop those tag titles anytime fucking soon. Honestly, it's at a point now, if you're Jericho, take some time off. Recharge yourself, then come back. Well, at least there's an audience again. But again, it's not going to happen too because Jericho is one of their best acts on the show. So there's that. We had Jon Moxley and FTR. Jon Moxley also talk about he discussed his match with MJF at All Out and admitted that things are not getting easier for him in his reign as AEW World Champion. And nor should they. He got a promo on Lance Archer ahead of their upcoming championship match. FTR celebrated their AEW Tag Team Championship victory in the center of the ring with Tully Blanchard. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler cut down the tag team division, including the Gun Club, Jurassic Express, before revealing that they will battle Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus in a non-title match next week. And there was that. From there, we had Tay Conti and her AEW Dynamite, I guess, debut now. Apparently now she's signed to the roster against Nyla Rose. And what do you expect? The Beast won. The Native Beast got the win over Tay Conti. They caught backstage of Conti crying. Evil Uno and Grayson, I guess, try to comfort her. They're trying to have her join the Dark Order. So there's that. So yeah, after this, we had the main event for the TNT Championship, right? Dustin Rhodes versus Mr. Brody Lee. This match, in my humble opinion, was okay. Nothing to go crazy about, but just keep this in mind, though. Luke Harper and Gold, let's close the show. Let that sink in for a minute. Let that marinate for a second, all right? Let that I did hear about it though. I did read why. Apparently, his mom told him he would not been happy in WWE. So there's that for Eddie Kingston. But regarding this whole thing though, with where was I? With my bad, Brody Lee and Jericho again. My bad, Brody Lee and Dustin Rhodes. I'm sorry. God damn it. I'm all over the place right now. I am all over the place. Apparently, his mom told me. Yeah, the playback's going good too. Awesome sauce. Their match was okay. I didn't go crazy about. I mean, what I found crazy, hilarious, was the fact they kept referencing the fact that Dustin Rhodes at his age is still going at it. He's still wrestling. This is amazing. This is crazy. Have they not seen the Rock and Roll Express on NWA? Just saying. So they made this. They gave this belief that Dustin was gonna avenge his brother's loss, right? And that didn't happen. Even though there were some botches here and there. But eventually, it was all said and done. Mr. Brody Lee, Mr. Brody, right, picked up the W. He picked up the W. And after this, you see the Dark Order trying to, with QT Marshall, they got to lay it out too. And the Dark Order celebrated. And that's how they closed Dynamite. Apparently, after the show, they announced that Cody had a big announcement. And the big announcement is that no, he's not coming back anytime soon. The big announcement is that Cody will be hosting his own show. My bad. He'll be I guess a judge on a show. Let me correct myself here. He'll be a judge on a show on TBS called Go Big Show. Let that sink in. He'll be joined by Snoop Dogg. I'll say that right now. That's all I can. So that's who I know. The others, I have no clue who the fuck they are. So there's that. Listen, this gives Cody exposure. It makes him, even though yes, in the wrestling world he's known, to casuals he's known too. He's the son of Dusty Rhodes. People know who Dusty Rhodes is. So again, it's a win for Cody. I'll say that right now. But that was Dynamite. Dynamite again was. Again, for a show that got 1 million viewers, I thought it was pretty solid, if you will. If you want my humble opinion on that. Let's now get to SmackDown, shall we? Get to SmackDown from this past Friday, which I did watch, by the way. Thought it was an okay show. Nothing to go crazy about here, right? We had the beginning of the match. At the beginning of the show, we had Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman in the ring. Apparently now Roman is now known as the chief, I guess the head chief, if you will. And out came Jey Uso, right? Again, like I mentioned, right, about the promo and all that stuff, right? They're calling Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman enter the ring for a show opening promo, with Heyman immediately addressing the fact that Jey Uso, Roman Reigns' cousin, won the number one contender spot last week on SmackDown, before welcoming Uso into the ring. After Uso came into the ring, Heyman confirmed that it was Reigns' idea to replace the injured Big E with Uso last week in the Fatal 4-Way to determine Reigns' challenger for Clash of Champions. Reigns promised Uso that just like when they were little kids, he would whoop his ass, which Uso laughed off because King Corbin interrupted. Before King Corbin interrupted. Corbin claimed that the entire situation was set up to get a hand-picked opponent who was just happened to be the champion's cousin. Next out to interrupt was Sheamus, who backed up Corbin's theory. Uso ultimately threw down the challenge for a tag match, teaming with Reigns against Sheamus and Corbin later on the night. So there was that. We had also on the show Bayley explaining the attack on Sasha Banks, and she also got a new challenger. Bayley cut an in-ring promo carrying the chair that she used to attack Sasha Banks last week, saying she knows everyone wants answers to why she attacked Banks, but said instead of answers, she asked questions. She asked if Banks thought she was an idiot who didn't know what her partner was thinking all along. Bayley knew. She said that Banks was just waiting for her moment to strike after keeping her close eyes after keeping her close for years, but said that after last week, she realized Bayley is now completely useless to her. She realized Bayley is now completely useless to her now, basically. Which I liked about this too is the fact that, if you remember many years ago when Eddie turned heel on Rey Mysterio, right? He brought out a chair and he sat in the middle of the ring. And Bayley did the same thing too. She came out with the chair and sat in the middle of the ring, considering the fact that, yes, Eddie Guerrero, right? Eddie Guerrero is Eddie Guerrero is the idol of Sasha Banks, right? Sasha worshipped the ground Eddie walked on at one time, right? Still does. I thought that was kind of like, wow, really, this is insane, if you will. But at the same time, this pitches the idea when Sasha comes back. And honestly, if I'm WWE, I would have Sasha sit out to the Royal Rumble and have her win the Women's Rumble match. And hell, let them go out at WrestleMania. That's what I would do, if you will. We had the Fatal 4-Way. We had Nikki Cross, Tamina, Lacey Evans, and Alexa Bliss. Somewhere in this match, Alexa Bliss walked off because apparently she got into a trance and she had Sister Abigail and Nikki Cross. It was down to Tamina, Nikki Cross, and Lacey Evans. And what do you know? What the fuck did you know? You had Tamina get pinned by Nikki Cross. So there was that. Fine. We're going to get, once again, Nikki Cross versus Tamina down the road. We also had on the show AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy. Was supposed to be for the Intercontinental Championship. Ended disqualification because Sami Zayn got involved. Interrupted again. He claimed that he was the true IC champion. Tried to put it on the record that the match was not a title match, but was escorted off by Adam Pearce and WWE security. After some solid back and forth action, Zayn pulled Styles down from the ring for disqualification before running in to hit the Haluva kick on Hardy, and Hardy stumbled and fell after the match due to what was later said to be dehydration. Before Styles was interviewed backstage and said he could be both men, seemingly moving closer to a Clash of Champions 3-way. I think that's the way to go. I mean, if they could do the ladder match, 3-way ladder match, that'd be awesome. Do the whole Shawn and Razor thing, 2 belts. You gotta get both of them to become the champion, if you will. That'll be cool to see. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, though, but that's an idea I would go with, if you ask me. We had Lucha House Party and versus Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Backstage, you had the Street Profits who showed up, right, on SmackDown. And they showed up and they basically threw a party, I guess, in their locker room. Threw a party. Because why the fuck not, right? Remember, Cesaro and Shinsuke showed up on Raw. So now the Street Profits are turning the favor, being on SmackDown to hype up their match. So during the match itself, you see the Street Profits throwing a party backstage. And that's what distracted Cesaro and Nakamura, to which Kalisto, I believe, was the one who got the pinfall for their team. Now, I did say earlier, I'll be down for a title unification. At the same time, though, I don't see that happening. I see Lucha House Party getting the SmackDown Tag Team title match on Clash of Champions for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. For whatever reason, but let's see what happens with that. We had Otis versus John Morrison. Otis got the win via pinfall after hitting the Caterpillar. During the match, Miz stole Otis's Money in the Bank lunchbox, seemingly accomplishing what Morrison didn't last week when he stole the briefcase, only to find out Otis kept the title match contract in the lunchbox. Later, Otis revealed that Miz stole a lunchbox, but not the lunchbox, revealing the contract that was still in his briefcase. So basically, Otis outsmarted everyone. So basically, in the briefcase, he had a lunchbox. In that lunchbox, he had the contract. And it looks like the contract that comes with every single replica Money in the Bank briefcase. So yeah, how uneventful was that? We then had Bray Wyatt introduce his introduce the new friend of the Firefly Funhouse. Surprisingly, the friend was not Alexa Bliss, but Pasquale the preserving parrot. The preserving parrot. Pasquale did not pop out of the box, from which Wyatt tried to reveal him. After technical difficulties, Wyatt said, after technical difficulties, Wyatt said he should have cut some holes in the box, and the parrot was dead. But the Vince McMahon puppet then appeared to say Wyatt couldn't handle the responsibilities of the Funhouse, and revealed the newest special advisor to the Funhouse, the Wobbly Walrus, a puppet play on Paul Heyman. I'm pretty sure we all saw the images of this. Everyone started laughing. The internet lost their shit. I know I did. I started busting in tears when I saw this shit. It's fucking hilarious. Right? Yeah, apparently the contract Otis is holding is a copy of the 2015 contract. Apparently also Jeff Hardy wants to play Willow for a match versus The Fiend. Why not? Probably cinematic, but we'll see. But yeah, there was that. That was SmackDown for you. Overall, I thought SmackDown was okay, if you will. But my bad. But the main event, the tag team match, Jey Uso and Roman Reigns versus Sheamus and King Corbin. So throughout the entire match, it was a 2-on-1 match. Jey Uso looked like he had the match ready to go, ready to get the win. Roman comes out, tags in, spears Sheamus, and gets the 1-2-3. So Jey Uso took all these bumps, right? All these bumps, what have you, took an ass beating, and then out comes Roman, one spear, and that's it. I love it. I think it's fucking cool. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing. Embrace this whole shit. I'm all for it. Right? Basically, Roman Reigns is now one lazy motherfucker. Awesome. Fucking awesome. And that's how they close SmackDown. So there's that. Again, you're hyping up Clash of Champions. You know Roman's going to beat his cousin up. So there's that. I mean, can you imagine if Roman were to lose to Jey Uso? How crazy that would be. Ugh. Don't think it's gonna happen though. I don't think it's gonna happen. Before I wrap this up, I did see a video from the NWA channel. Apparently, I think this coming Tuesday, it's gonna be Mike Bennett, formerly known as Mike Kanellis, challenging for the NWA World Championship versus Nick Aldis at some primetime show on Fight TV. They did a whole 21-minute video hyping up the match and all that stuff. It's really worth the watch. I'll say that right now. If you guys have not watched it, go give it a watch. It's really, again, worth the fucking watch. They also announced the scheduling for the G1 coming up in a couple of weeks. I have the list here, I believe. Where's the list at? If I can find it right now. I thought I had the list here. I thought I fucking had it. I know where to go. Instagram. Here we go. If I can just find this right now. God damn it, yo. I had this list earlier. Fucking hell. I'm trying to find this fucking list right now of the G1. I thought I had it here though. But god damn it. So basically, the A block is Kota Ibushi, Jeff Cobb, Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, Will Ospreay, Shingo Takagi, Minoru Suzuki, Tai Chi, Jay White, and Yujiro Takahashi. That's the A block. The B block: Hiroshi Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, Hiroki Goto, Toru Yano, who is now the king of pro wrestling, Yoshihashi, the double champion Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, Zack Sabre Jr., Kenta, and Evil, the former double champion. It's a stacked G1. I'm going to say that right now. If I could pick one winner who I want to see win right now, the whole thing, Tomohiro Ishii. However, if we're going to go with storyline base here and all that stuff, my bad. One more person I want to see win is Sanada. Okay? But if we're going to go with story base here, right? I'd say Kenta. You do Kenta, have him win the G1, right? And it goes to Kenta and Naito at the Tokyo Dome. Remember last year at Wrestle Kingdom, right? Kenta ruined that moment for Naito, right? After Naito beat Okada, right? He interrupted. He laid out Tetsuya Naito. And I remember, because I watched the show in English, right? Kevin Kelly called him a son of a bitch. How dare he does this? And again, Naito gets his revenge on Kenta at the Tokyo Dome. That's what I would do. But we'll see. Read the comments here real quick. You can see if you guys wrote anything here. Apparently the contract, we've heard this already. But that's basically going to be it here for tonight's show, guys. I thank you all again for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Give the video a big old thumbs up. Share it through social media, what have you. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. I'll be back next week. You can tell I'm tired as shit. I'll be up at 9:30 in the morning for work, but it is indeed around the point. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. This is, once again, Around the Point. Good night, everyone.